Hey everyone, it's Emily. I wanted to get on here today and tell you a story about kind of why I am doing all of this, at least the social media part of it. So I just left today from Portland to come down here to San Diego, and when I'm flying, I have recently started using airport assistance because I used to be able to see gate numbers and, be able to navigate my way around the airport. But since my vision is progressive, I can no longer do that on my own. And there's a lot of hard things about this for me. But one of the big things that I really hope to change in the future, I'd love to work with the airports, if anyone's listening. But the fact that I need a guide and not a wheelchair. And this is a big rub for especially the blind and visually impaired, because we don't necessarily need to wheel, and there is already a shortage of wheelchairs for those who do need to wheel. But we also, some of us enjoy walking. Imagine that. But 9 times out of 10, they will make me ride in the wheelchair in order to use an assistant. And so that's something that bugs me beyond no belief, because I do enjoy walking, especially right before getting on a flight. But today, in Portland, actually, I've had the worst experiences in Portland, but today was actually good coming down here. But then I got to San Diego, and I was with an assistant, and they were getting me to baggage claim where I had my oversized luggage, which was my surfboard. And so this person is pushing me, and I didn't want to ride in the wheelchair. I even ask every time, do I have to ride in the wheelchair? They usually say yes. But it is the fastest in order to get to baggage claim and not get lost and all the things. So I'm in the wheelchair, and I was like, we need to go to the oversized luggage. And so we're down in the baggage claim, and we get to the oversized luggage, and I was like, I'm looking for a surfboard. And the person said, you surf? And I said, yes. And they go, so why did you need me? And in the moment, I wanted to say a lot of choice things, but it goes to show that people don't expect people with disabilities to be doing things like surfing, blind people surfing, or any other sport for that matter. And I hope I can spread awareness and education, just as many disabled athletes are trying to, is that if we can find a way to do the things we love, we will. And that doesn't mean we don't need assistance in other areas. It doesn't mean that we're faking it. It doesn't mean that we're lazy and just want to ride the wheelchair around the airport, which I sometimes feel like people assume. It doesn't mean that we want to go in the shorter lines with the wheelchairs. It just means we need other assistance, and we can do other things in life as well. And so when you're out and about and something doesn't quite make sense to you, there's probably a reason that it doesn't make sense to you, and that's because you've never assumed that people like myself, who are blind, visually impaired, want to do things like surfing and want to travel solo. I mentioned that in my very first video, that my trip to Japan was my first international solo trip, and that's for a lot of reasons. I got divorced officially 2 years ago this August. And so previously I would have my husband who was sighted. And so we could travel together, and it wasn't as difficult on my own. I can travel locally on my own, and I've done a lot more of that in the past 2 years than ever. And then I also have my youngest daughter has traveled with me quite a bit, overseas as well. But yeah, Japan was my first trip, and it was a lot. I mean, obviously, I can't see like a lot of people can who are traveling. There's a language barrier. There was a lot of things that were really nerve-wracking in that whole process. And I will probably do a video on that, just talking through how I navigated it. how funny it was when I found somebody who knew who I was, and what a relief that was. But we can travel alone, and if you're a person with a disability out there, you can. It is very scary in the anticipation of it. Once you're doing it, it's not as scary. And every time I leave for a trip, I am nervous. I am still scared. I don't want people to think that I'm super brave and that I don't get scared and I feel like I'm almighty and competent, because I don't most of the time. But I'm also not going to let my sight, or the fact that I'm single, and that I don't have, a partner next to me, I'm not going to allow that to slow me down. And I'm definitely not going to sit at home and watch the days go by and not do the things I love, even though they scare the shit out of me. So if you're one of those people, you can get out. You can do the things. There are programs. There are people out there willing to help us where we need to be helped, and also allow us to be independent. I rented my first Airbnb today on my own, single. And I got in, and I'm here. I'm on the rooftop in San Diego, which is really nice. And this is an amazing Airbnb, so I'll definitely shout them out. They've been fantastic, and this rooftop's pretty awesome, even though it's pretty cloudy up here. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. I surf tomorrow. I'm trying out for Team USA Parasurf, so I will update you soon. Take care. Bye.